everybody knows about vitamin C. And I don't think there's a person out there that doesn't know about it. And they know if they get sick, they better take more of it. And that's
Straight
where I want
up.
hygiene to be. I believe
Yeah.
that hygiene is the next vitamin C, but no one knows about it. So if you can get on track with it now,
What's up, all my H2Minute peeps? This is Tywon, and I'm here to do an H2Minute interview with my guest, Amanda Bobbett. And I'm excited to do this interview and kind of go through why she's so passionate about hydrogen. She's actually a supporter of H2Minutes. And on H2Minutes, we don't really discuss hydrogen products. So this interview is going to be more so about hydrogen itself and how she discovered hydrogen and what she's and why she's so excited about it. And then we're actually going to do another interview on my other channel, my sister company, H2 Hub. And on H2 Hub, we test and a lot of products, and we review them and then recommend the ones that pass our performance standards, the ones that are good. And her products have passed. So if you want to go ahead and check out that video, you can do so after watching this interview. All right, Amanda, will you please tell my audience who you are and tell them a little bit about yourself?
I would be grateful to do that. So my name is Amanda Bobbett, and I've been drinking hydrogen water now for about 14 years. And before it was hydrogen water, we didn't know it was hydrogen water. It was alkaline
Right.
ionized water. That's where it really started out for me. But a background story is I was struggling with my health. I spent 8 years being clinically obese. I had mercury poisoning, adrenal fatigue. And as a female, I'd lost my cycle for 8 years.
Mm,
No periods.
mm.
So I became the mystery patient in my area. I didn't know what to do. I kept going to the doctors and they kept giving me pills. And I'd take the pill and have a side effect and I'd fire that doctor and go the next. And pretty soon I was 26, 27 years old and I was not sure what I was going to do. And it's my grandpa heard about ionized alkaline water, which now we know there's hydrogen in it. That's why it got a result.
Yeah.
And my grandpa does not buy things for his health. He's like, health? What? No. So
Yeah.
he bought this water machine at the time. It was like $4,000 or $5,000. And he got all of my family. My family was like, oh my gosh, grandpa bought this thing. It's for his health, it's like $5,000. Like if he bought it, like it's got to be
It's got
good.
to be legit. If
That's
grandpa
it.
bought it,
Yeah.
it's got to be legit.
Yep. So
Yeah.
grandpa bought it. He was the first one. My parents bought it. And I was like, well, I'm going through some health issues. I drink water anyways. I'm going to have it too. And at the time, I was working for my parents at their garden center in Richland, Washington. It's called Beaver Bark. And I used
Okay.
to work at the front counter and started drinking this water, and our customers know me very well. So when I started changing, because I started drinking this water, automatically I got my energy back.
Mm.
And then I started losing weight. And people were like, okay, what are you doing? I said, I think it's this water. And they looked at me like, yeah, right. I think
Right.
you a
Correct.
little loony now. I said, okay, look, enough people have said that I seem different. I have this machine. It makes, endless supplies of water. I'll just bring it from my house and I'll put it in the back break room.
Right.
And the first month and a half, I started telling a couple people, it turned into 50 people start coming into Beaver Bark to get water. And so what happened was I was so excited because they were feeling a benefit instead of me being at the front counter. I would spend all day in the back break room talking about water and my arthritis and my acid reflux and all these great things happening. I was like, oh my gosh, I think I stumbled upon some of this like magnificent.
Right.
Mom like sitting me down like, Amanda, we've hired someone else for your positions front counter. While you're in the back, like helping water customers, we still got a whole business we're trying to run here and you're not there. I'm like, I know, I know. So I
Yeah.
said, 2 months into it, I said, I'm gonna just have to quit. And I
Hmm.
did. I quit my parents' garden center after 2 months of this water business. And I did. I committed and I decided I was going to change the world one glass of water at a time. So I
That's
spent
awesome.
12 years in this company building their business all around the world. And there became a time when the stories did not align with the research. And I was like, I can't put
Mhm.
my heart in that any longer. And so I formulated my own company called Healthy Hydration, where we
Uh-huh.
focus on the science and have quality products. And I want to make sure they're all certified through your company and also others, just to make sure we
Uh-huh.
have the best of the best.
Well, that's an amazing story, Amanda. That's
Yeah.
pretty wild to have 50 people just strolling up to the store like with gallons, like, hey, fill me up with some water. So that kind of leads me to my next kind of question would be, considering that, now, both of us know now that alkaline ionized water, the therapeutic agent of that water would be molecular hydrogen. So when did you actually learn that molecular hydrogen was the key to alkaline ionized water?
I actually went and took a year-long course with a gal. Her name was Dr. Peggy Parker.
Mm,
And Dr. Parker, she talked about the hydrogen. She actually said it was free electrons. She didn't
right.
call it hydrogen. And she kind of gave us some theories that she had tested out in people's bodies to be quite exciting. And so I learned from her for a whole year about the chemistry of what happens, electrolysis process.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew that that was really the key role. The issue was the company's so big all over the world, their story is not that. Their
Right.
story is alkaline. And so when you start educating on one thing and then everyone else is doing another thing, there's this, it's just really hard to put that out there. But I always knew that that was the key role in the water, but just couldn't
Yeah.
keep
So
going.
so what year would have been what year when you would have been with Peggy?
It got to be 2013 or 2014.
2015. That's funny because that's when I was learning that molecular hydrogen was the key to alkaline ionized water, was around
Mm,
that same time period. And it's similar, right? There's, companies and they say all kind of different things and they say this is the reasons. And then you run into people that kind of lead you down a pathway. And then, for me, it started off being, started leading down that pathway and saying hydrogen is the key. It's basic water electrolysis and all this other stuff. So I started reading articles around 2014, and I started reading a lot of articles on molecular hydrogen. And that's when I started to discover it and say, hey, wait a minute, I think this is the game changer about this water. So it's interesting that we actually end up kind of learning that molecular hydrogen was the key to alkaline ionized water around the same time period. And I'm
mm-mm,
actually kind of familiar. I don't know Peggy Parker. Peggy, right? Peggy Parker. I don't
mm,
know her personally or anything, but we probably made some exchanges within the hydrogen water group. There's a Facebook group that talks about the science of hydrogen rich water. And she was in that Facebook group. She probably still is in that Facebook group, but I remember seeing her name talking, and she's a smart lady. She's a smart lady. I know that I know she kind of was big into free electrons and that stuff. And I kind of stay right on the hydrogen. But anyway, that's interesting that you actually had that connection with her and
yeah,
actually learned about hydrogen from her.
yeah. And then when the Molecular Hydrogen Institute came out, because Dr. Tyler and I, we've been Facebook friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Molecular Hydrogen Institute came out, and all these people from that company were like, oh, don't go there. Don't send your clients there because it's going to talk about the T test not being accurate and all these other things that they were like, okay, don't go there. So we kind of like
Right.
put our blinders on. But Dr. Tyler was always in like my messaging me on social media saying, hey, that, da, 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 da. Oh, really? So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
there was
Yeah.
hints along the way, but
Yeah, it sounds like you've been having little drips for a while, kind of letting you know that molecular hydrogen was the key to the water. You know,
mm-hmm.
I mean, and it is challenging, and there's so many different messages out there to try to line out what is the truth and what is not, and these people would lead me astray. They would want to tell me the truth, and so,
Mm-hmm.
and then you actually, like said, you had to get to a place where you had to part ways and actually just stick with the hydrogen. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, so what was it about molecular hydrogen that truly made you want to go deeper? When you actually saw that, like, okay, hydrogen is the sole reason for the therapeutic benefits of this water. Like, I have to take this further than what I've been doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think just one very important key is that we're all drinking water.
Hmm.
Every one of us has to have water, and either we can choose to drink water that's got a lot of chemicals from the tap, is unfiltered, or bottled water, which is very bad for the environment and our health. It's expensive.
Hmm.
And knowing that we age, and aging is, something we're all going to do it. And if there's something you're already doing every single day and you can add hydrogen to your water and it's going to give you a benefit and you slow down aging and inflammation, which everybody has that really got my attention because, I don't want to get older and I want my family to stay and my friends and my kids and all to be healthy.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah, I can totally get down with that. Seeing the potential of molecular hydrogen and its therapeutic benefits to the human body is so vast that it's like, and it's so easy. And it's like, why wouldn't you want to be doing this? Like, it's like this is far too easy and far too beneficial not to be engaging in. And so you already be drinking water. And eventually we will on our other channel talk a little bit about your hydrogen inhalation system. So you're already breathing. So why not
Mm-hmm.
drink it and
Yeah.
breathe it? Because those are two things you're gonna be doing anyway today, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what excites you the most about hydrogen?
I would say probably the gut health and the
Gut
brain
health?
health.
Mm-hmm. Gut and brain.
Because it seems like a lot of my clients are a little bit older and they've got acid reflux, they've got, digestive issues, and then they're developing Alzheimer's or some kind of memory issues. And we know that hydrogen is so beneficial for those things. And so I think that having the gut and your immune system strong is probably one of the most exciting things about the hydrogen aspect.
Yeah, yeah, I would have to concur. We did what was it, a hydrogen on the brain series on H2Minutes,
Mm.
and it was a doozy. It took a lot of
Mm.
work. Um, Literally probably me 8 weeks of really intense research, and I only scratched the surface of collecting data. I only scratched the surface so much that's out there on it and how it can benefit. So we ended
Mm.
up putting into a four. It was literally going to be one video. It ended up being 4 videos. So that just goes to show how much data we got. And like you said, it's pretty remarkable, from hydrogen benefiting different parts of the brain, from the cerebellum to amygdala to the prefrontal cortex, to regulating different neurotransmitters or different hormones that benefit the brain, and serotonin and dopamine and all the it's mind-boggling what
Mm.
the data actually shows for how hydrogen is able to benefit these things, and whether it's from dementia or strokes or different things like that. And then you talk about the gut, and this is going to be something we actually produced a video for hydrogen on the gut too, but it was more talking about the secret benefit of like fiber, and people not realizing that our guts produce a lot of hydrogen. And that hydrogen actually can be responsible for some of the observable benefits from fiber, from eating a fiber rich diet. And
Mhm.
but we're going to be producing another one talking about hydrogen's actual effects on the gut, and it's going to be another one of those doozies because it's so much. So
Mhm.
I can concur that those are two very, very important areas of research, and they are very exciting because you can affect those two things. You can affect the body in a major way.
Yeah, you know what? Another thing that I'm very passionate about is animals. I don't have any right now,
Mm-hmm.
but I would love to see some animals, get on the water that had diabetes, that had cancer, had brain issues. And so what I actually did is last week I went down to the local veterinarian center there, and I
Uh-huh.
a whole bunch of the hydro shots. And I went in there and I said, "Would you please conduct some studies for me?" They're like, "Sure, what are we doing?" And I told them, "Hey, I need some dogs with diabetes, yeah, cats with diabetes. You're gonna give them this water, you're gonna make them drink it, you're gonna have to put a syringe, I don't know how, but you're gonna get
Yeah,
it in
yeah,
there."
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
they're like, "Wait
Pour
a
it in a
minute."
bowl, drink, make them drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, okay, so if this works well, I think what the next process, the next, product we could bring out would be having a dog bowl.
Uh-huh.
Like the dog goes down and it puts fresh hydrogen water for
Oh,
them.
fresh hydrogen. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Wouldn't
That
that
would
be
be
cool?
That would be very cool. That would be and I think it'd be an attractive device. Obviously, many people love their pets. And I think one of the things too with scientific research that's just how it progresses. It starts from cell cultures, and then animal models, and then human models. So it's like before we get to humans, we have to see if it's beneficial in pets or in animals,
Hmm.
I should say. And there's plenty of studies that show hydrogen is amazing in animals. So it's like there's no reason why they shouldn't benefit from it too. And I mean, those who don't have animals, but even like their plants, that's
Oh,
another video that's going to come out one of these days, is that hydrogen for plants or for agriculture or those type of things. I have so many studies. So I have to talk about hydrogen is really just good for everything, man.
yes, yes. My family has the garden center. It's a big garden center. We
Oh,
did a lot of experiments, still do, with the hydrogen, and it's amazing. The root growth on the tomato plants
mhm.
specifically, they're big. Seed germination so much faster.
Yeah.
It's like nutrient absorption. They're going to be bringing in more nutrients. They're going to grow more.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, excited about that video. Can't
Yeah, or
wait for you.
even soaking your fruit in hydro-rich water and preserving them for a longer shelf life,
Mm.
stuff like that, you know. So it's just it's endless. You know, it seems like it's endless. And I know for us, at least at H2Minutes, we're gonna be making videos for a long time to come.
Mhm. Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
Amanda, uh, what is the hydrogen awareness of where you live? This is where you at currently, and does many people kind of know about hydrogen there, or what?
They know about alkaline because that's, when I'm in my local area here, it was all about alkaline. And so then
Right.
when you have the conversation of the hydrogen, oh yeah, yeah, I heard that. Okay, oh really? And then they kind of go through like this phase where like it's like, but I thought it was the alkaline. And they were so emotionally attached to the alkaline, buying the Essentials at the grocery stores and all those great
Mhm.
things. And so a little bit of like up and a little bit of like, oh, and then they're okay. Like
Right.
today, we had a gentleman that had one of those pass machines, and he comes into the storefront, and we told him, we don't promote those any longer, and he was like, "Oh, well, what am I supposed to do?" I said, "We have a trade up program. It's a new technology that came out on the market." He's like, "Oh, really? Okay, well, what's new about it?" And he's like, "Oh, you don't have to do all the maintenance," and he just absolutely loved it, and he ended up walking home with one. But
Yeah.
anyway, it's just of course, it's shocker at first, but I think once they understand, it's like you're gonna have a car, but you're not gonna have the car for the whole lifetime. They're gonna
Mhm.
be upgrades on the car, and I
Right.
think that alkaline water was, but now that we know it's not that, now there's so much more technology on the market that's simpler and more effective.
Right. 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 Exactly. I think that, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. I think education, bringing people from one place to another is key. And the alkaline story is it's so popular, like I said, it's on all the shelves at the store and everything. It's really common and it's kind of mainstream. And so kind of bringing awareness that really it's not about the alkaline story, it's about the hydrogen story, and helping them kind of see all along that underneath the alkaline story was hydrogen doing this thing, helping. This reason why you were feeling all the benefits. Can kind of help a person get from point A to point B.
Yeah, yeah. And one of the hardest things is, but it doesn't microcluster the water. Your technology doesn't microcluster the water. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, about the microclustering here. It's just like
Yeah.
all these things we thought were things aren't really things, and so just the customers kind of feel like you let me down, but we didn't know, right? We were just
Right.
going off what people told us, and we heard stuff about hydrogen in the background, but no one knew with scientific evidence that this is the reason.
Right. 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 And I think that's important to have some level of like humility and transparency that like, hey, this is just as much of a shocker for us as it is for you. Like I'm learning too. And what I do know is this is credible, empirical scientific data that says this is what is actually responsible. But like you said, I was told things, this is what we knew, and we did the best with what we could do with the information that we had, So I think that that's kind of like a cool place that can make them feel more at ease, about that whole transition. Because like you said, I think once you get down to the science, um, especially if it's complicated, it can lose people, and I know that's what we try to do is try to make it simple, so it's far easier to say the water is microclustered than it is than it is to say you know, really water is held together by electrostatic bonds, and those bonds can break 160 billion times a second. So water is always in flux. And they're like, well, what? And it's
I
like,
remember
yeah, that's the
that.
scientific evidence for it. It's far easier to be like, the water's microcluster is going to help you get in your body better.
Yeah, here's the tea. Let's
Dang.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I like that one. Let's go with that one. I don't know about no hydrogen electrostatic bonds and flux, man. You know? And it's like, that's like, but it's unfortunate, but that's the truth. And so repackaging and helping them go down that pathway is what people like you and I get to do and try to do every day.
Yes. Yes, we do.
All
And
right.
it's been
So what
fun.
do you think is the future outlook for molecular hydrogen?
Mm. I would love to believe that everybody will be drinking hydrogen water. Everybody knows about vitamin C. And I don't think there's a person out there that doesn't know about it. And they know if they get sick, they better take more of it. And that's
Straight
where I want
up.
hygiene to be. I believe
Yeah.
that hygiene is the next vitamin C, but no one knows about it. So if you can get on track with it now, even
Mhm.
if you're like a, company like mine where we have a referral program, we have affiliate program, and you start to promote this product, there's going to come a time when people are looking to buy it. Like, where do I get it? It's not
Right.
sold at, you can't go to Costco yet and get it. So they're going
Right.
to be looking for companies that they can, buy it from so you can be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Um, the sky, outer space, not even the sky's the limit. Outer space is the limit for hydrogen. I just really feel like once people understand the potential of hydrogen and that it's not some weird scam or weird thing that's out there that's gonna like people just trying to sell me on some snake oil type stuff. Once people actually are able to get a basic understanding, like you said, with vitamin C, like you said, there's so many people have they have a basic understanding of vitamin C. It's going to be good for me. It's going to help me from not being sick. Just basic things. They can know
Mm.
those things about hydrogen, you know, and know that as just like vitamin C is supported, like no one's going to question, oh, is there some good, support for vitamin C? Is there any scientific evidence? Just type in vitamin C in PubMed and see how many studies you're going to run into, right?
Mm.
Like it's credible, and hydrogen has the same thing, so I can totally get down with that. I think the future is going to be super bright for hydrogen.
Yeah, and just to get rid of the bottled water is one of very big passion of mine. It's like the other day, I'm like, people don't buy into the hydrogen water because they believe they have to have a huge expensive machine to make the water.
Mm,
And they're still buying bottled water. And
mm,
so when I'm trying to come across and say, hey, look, I took the unit that I have down to the grocery store and the home unit here, and I was like walking in there, and I went down the bottled water aisle because I just want to see where people are at. Like we have a
yeah,
rental, it's only $150 a month. A lot of people are spending $150 a month in bottled water that's not good for them.
right.
Going back to the environment, you're getting lots of plastics in your body. So why are we doing this?
Hmm.
Why are we doing this? They don't know. And so it's
Yeah,
hard to help people understand and educate people that, hey, why are you spending your money doing that when it's not good for you? It's wasting the environment. When you can just do this and get a filter and you can have hydrogen.
right,
So
right.
that's where I'm going. I want one of these in every home so everyone stop buying the bottled water.
Well, and you can just imagine the exponential growth of, not only just once people get in their homes, but the word of mouth, like people drinking this type of stuff, and those people who might have this wonderful effect from hydrogen, they're not going to get that with their bottled water, so oh my goodness, I gotta tell my mom, and then like you said, boom, 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 it like it doesn't, you can definitely see how it can continue to expand forward once people actually know and actually start to get more of these systems in their homes. um
What's interesting about this is that when I started in the water business 14 years ago and it was alkaline, you didn't say, hey, have you heard about alkaline or hydrogen water? You said, have you heard about alkaline water?
right,
So there was this huge like alkaline, alkaline, alkaline. Everybody knew it, and then there became so many people that knew about it. If you didn't have it, you were like, what? You
right,
don't have it, and they'd get it. And then we started seeing momentum happen. Everybody's getting it, and so now that it's hydrogen and healthy hydration with hydrogen water, people are like, I haven't heard about it. I don't really know what you're talking about, you know. But now, like
yeah,
we've got a team of people that are affiliates going out there, and now it's getting easier and easier. And we're building momentum, just like I seen happen 14 years ago when I was with that. Because I feel like literally having to start all over again in a way, just
right.
because it's a whole another educational train that people have to understand.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Speaking of that, I know that you actually have that in your company, right? You have people go through an educational course to learn about molecular hydrogen so they can actually teach about it rightly.
And you're all over there. You got your wonderful videos on there, and
Uh-huh.
Institute, and a bunch of sales training videos, and lots of support. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's really crucial because if you're gonna go out there and try to help people and create that wave like you're talking about, then it's good to go about it rightly so we don't end up like the alkaline story, which is, you know, you're learning, finding out that there's a lot of things that were shared that wasn't true. And there was a big wave that was, produced and a ton of money that was made and people are buying into it, only to find out that, there are large aspects of that whole story that's not founded or
Yep.
grounded with any kind of scientific support or evidence for it. And that's a cool thing about hydrogen, is that we can actually create that story, and it is supported by scientific evidence. So yeah, that I think that's going to be I'm hoping for that future. And I think you and I and other people that have been in this industry for a long time pushing hydrogen forward, you know, I think it'd be very satisfying to actually see that happen.
It will happen. It's happening
It will
right
happen.
now. It's happening right now.
Yeah. So what do you think is needed for the hydrogen industry to get to that point? What do you think is needed for us to get to that point of what we just got done talking about?
Simplifying it. We've got to simplify it. So instead of saying like hydrogen, it's a selective antioxidant when people don't even know about antioxidants, and
Right.
you got to break that down. So how can we get it to them the littlest bit of information that they understand, that they can digest, that makes them take action? Because the more people
Right.
we have drinking it, the more results there's going to be, the more testimonies, and then of course it's red. So for me, I just say, anti-inflammatory, because a lot of people say, oh, I know what that is.
Right.
Okay, well, what causes that process is the
Hmm.
free radicals, the oxidation. And
Hmm.
that comes from our environment, our stress, overuse. And so I think when we just kind of break it down to levels they can understand, you heard of vitamin C? Oh yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
antioxidant. That's what this
Yep.
water is too. It acts as an antioxidant in your body.
Hmm. I think that's a fantastic answer to it, to this question. And it's something that, and a lot of times in my conversations, what I have with people on the phone or those things, you have to find common ground with their own understanding in order for you to get that message across to them. And in most instances, it is making it very simple. And so I know in my home with my boys, I have three boys, and so they're all young. My oldest is 11, and then I have a 9-year-old, and then I have a 5-year-old, and actually I think 4-year-old, and but with my middle son, I was talking to him, and one of the ways I try to help him understand hydrogen water was I said, this water helps you not get sick. And so that's one of the things, like, because he can understand it, you know? And so it's like, oh, cool.
Mhm.
Well, it's good for me. Oh, well, okay, well, cool. There. That's how maybe, a 6-year-old or somebody can comprehend it. Well, what is our common ground with the lay person, the everyday person that's out there? Like you said, we live in a culture or we live in a society where medication is big, and we hear about anti-inflammatories, right? We hear about those type of things. So it's like, yeah, those common grounds, finding those terms that is over here with the research that that can be supported. That once that common ground is met, between you two, then you can take it deeper, and that's just I've done that so much because a lot of people from where I live, they don't know about hydrogen, so it can be quite challenging. And even sometimes you get into the science, and like you said, their eyes roll back in the head, and then you kind of lose them. It's not as interesting, whatever. But talking about how something maybe can benefit not only them but their wives or their mom or their dads, and that you might benefit with diabetes. Oh, well, my mom has diabetes. Exactly.
Yep.
So stuff like that, like, it's definitely going to be the best approach to move forward, I
Relatable
think.
information. Yeah. That's easy to understand. Oh yeah. I say it's finding pain points too. So
Hmm.
you got one older client, you see them in a cane, maybe they have an oxygen tank, maybe they don't have energy, right? And then they ask, oh, what's that? This is anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, energizing water.
Hmm.
Oh, really? Does all those things? Yeah. I'm not going to say it's molecular hydrogen that has 6 blah 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 blah, but that, oh yeah, then they automatically perk up because that's what they have. The struggle's right there. And hydrogen
Right.
obviously does so many different things, but I found that's a really great way is find out what people are looking for, and it becomes it.
Right. Right. Exactly. And then, you know, something that I've tried to do is as people have more questions, because there are those people that end up having those questions, where they say, well, okay, but how can water do that for me? And
Mhm.
then that's when I kind of start to take them a little deeper, you
Yep.
know,
Yep.
and talk about, oh, well, yeah, it's this gas, it's hydrogen gas that's in the water. Oh, a gas. And then that's when I'll take them into, oh, how can a gas benefit me? And then we start talking about sodas and different things that has different gases in it.
Mhm.
And only go there once they start to probe deeper, because if they don't have really genuine curiosity, then you're just going to talk past the person and you're going to lose them. And
And
then
they'll be
you're
like,
going to,
look at the boxing, and we're gonna go yet.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, yeah, man. All right, cool story, brother. I'm going to holler
Mhm.
at you later. Hit you with the
Mhm.
deuces on you, you know? So, well, anywho, my next question for you, Amanda, is if you could teach the viewers anything about hydrogen, what would it be?
If I could teach them anything, I would probably teach them about the anti-aging effects. You can take an apple, you can cut it open, and it gets brown.
Mm-hmm.
That's oxidation,
Right.
and that happens in our body. And when you have hydrogen, it's an antioxidant. You put it on the apple, and a few hours later, it's not brown. It's
Mm-hmm.
because it's able to slow that process down. And so, if you can imagine that in your mind, it makes sense. You just learned something new. Now you know how it's affecting your inner workings.
Yeah. And realizing that, that oxidation process is tied to virtually all disease. So it's a pretty
Mm.
profound effect, having something that can do that.
Yeah, and I run this course that it's a mastermind course. It talks
Mm-hmm.
basically I teach people how to get out of stress because stress is the number one thing. It's oxidation caused from stress. Stress is the number one thing that's linked to everything. Well, okay, how do we get it? We get it from breathing. We get it from being in our environment. Our cell phones, microwaves, TVs, we're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Then we don't realize we get it from our thoughts. A
Mm-hmm.
negative thought leads to adrenaline and cortisol and all these negative emotions or feelings. And then we get addicted to those feelings, of course, over time because our body craves them. And then you add more stress, and your body thinks now your brain waves are out of balance. And now you
Mm-hmm.
have inflammation and pain caused by all these hormones in your body that you created because of the thought that you thought. And so hydrogen can also go in and help that process and help balancing hormones. And then you have your
Mm-hmm.
traumatic injuries. Nope, darn it, I fell down the stairs. And then you got to your body has to deal with that. But if we can get our body out of stress from those three things, then our
Mm-hmm.
body can heal.
Right.
And
Right.
hydrogen is only going to help. It's never going to harm. And our
Yeah.
body's 70% water. It's not food. It's the simplest thing you can do to change your health. Is just drink water, different water.
Right. Like you said, there's been shown no cytotoxic or cell damaging effects of hydrogen so far. So, uh,
Hmm.
which is pretty remarkable considering how many disease models they've studied. So like you said, if you can, help your body to run optimally, then you can effectively be on the pathway of preventing diseases. So, it just seems like hydrogen, like I said, can get to the root causes of a lot of these different, like you said, stress, right? Like stress is a root cause thing, right? And chronic inflammation is a root cause thing. These type of things, and hydrogen is able to get there. And it seems like what we see in the literature, it appears to be able to regulate these processes. So,
And it feels good with every drink you have. You just keep feeling better. Why not?
yeah, yeah, for sure. So, as an H2 minute, a supporter of H2 minutes, why do you think education about hydrogen is so important?
Somebody's got to do it. Because if there's not a leader leading the pack, then no one's going to do it. And it's going to
Mhm.
stay small and no one's going to have ability to have it in their life. It was interesting. I was talking to a client that actually, I think he ran into your video and you were talking about my inhalation unit. And he has some issues. He just got diagnosed with lymphatic cancer and,
Mm.
um, he's searching for answers. I saw the video. I think he can help, but then he's confused because there's other things out there. And it's really good that you have these videos to help educate people. Yeah, there's a lot of products. If you go on Amazon, you can find like these bottles here. They're cheap. And of course, cheap is cheap because it's cheap. And what's the side effect going to be? So now this gentleman is looking for something in his life and he came across our product and ended up purchasing it. But having that ability to impact his life because we had the education. I'm not saying he's going to get cured tomorrow, but what if it could impact his health to the point he's got his life back and we didn't tell anybody about it?
Right.
We had information, but we were so selfish because we were worried about what other people were thinking about us, or we don't want to say this because whatever. Who cares? Like, I feel we need to get out of our own way. We have a mission. My company's mission is to free people from physical and financial pain, one household at a time. Because as you have the pain of my shoulder, my back, cancer, whatever, now you have financial pain. And when you have an emotional pain here, now your body's even more out of balance. And so if we can help people with the physical products, with the physical body, and then also help the financial aspect, everyone's going to feel better if they have more income in their life because they have less stress.
Yeah.
And so that's really like, that's why we have to lead the pack. Like you, like me, we're out there all the time talking about it. There's going to be naysayers that don't believe whatever. We've got a bigger mission than that. We've got studies to prove. We got products that work. We're aligning with great quality people like you and many others, and there's no stopping us.
Yeah, man. Like you said, nothing moves forward without education. So, I mean, that's how we got. I said that's how the alchemist story got started, right? People when it's out there, they said weren't scared to talk about it, weren't scared to go out and tell people about it, and they spoke that, and then, like you said, they continue to build until you get a critical mass, and then you get the wave going, and then everyone's on it. And so that started with people educating other people.
I got the goosebumps because right now I feel it, because we're online all the time and we just started some ads and now we're seeing some results I never really thought were possible. It's because people are getting educated. It's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm on this train. This is awesome. And it's just a matter of time before all those people get their products and then start to drink it and feel it. And then pretty soon, they're all doing it. So if you're looking for a company to be and join, like I would do it right away before it gets everywhere,
Exactly. So my next question is, in light of your support of H2Minutes, what is it about H2Minutes that makes it important or needed for the hydrogen industry?
Without you, we don't really have anything else, I don't feel. I mean, Tyler LeBaron is amazing. Absolutely love him, but he's not in video content. He doesn't do video that I've seen so far. And we got to break it down to ridiculous. We can't get too sciencey because we lose everybody.
Right.
So that's what you do really well. You're very talented in taking a large topic with all this information and breaking it down to little bite-sized nuggets that we can digest and even understand enough to go talk to somebody. And so without you out there, doing this, I don't think there's anyone else that's out there.
No. And nobody that I know of doing it to not only the degree, but doing it in the format that we're doing, which is one of the things that we were committed to when we started H2Minutes, was making sure that everything we actually put out as content was fact-based. It wasn't going to be based on my opinion or stuff. Every video you can go to, and you can go down to the description and you can look at my sources. And so, like you said, it's translating scientific information to and translating it and disseminating it to the people without losing the accuracy. And that's a whole process in and of itself, because typically you can have one side, I've said this before, you can have one side that says, okay, I'm going to do all the translation, but even if that means I lose what's truthful, then so be it. As long as they can get the message and as long as I can get whatever I wanted out of it. And then you have the other side, which, there's so much about the truth, or, or the factual information or whatever. Like you go to your oncologist, you're not going to understand him half the time. It's going to be very difficult to understand what he's talking about, because he's very, very specialized in the information that he knows. And he knows it to a very deep degree. And so it's very hard for him probably to translate that information out of the format that he knows it. And so that's what we do at H2Minutes, is we translate, repackage, and disseminate. And, there's some videos and topics I feel like, man, we crush it. There's other ones that I'm like, well, I'm sorry, y'all, I tried my best. But without us, I I mean, I don't know any other YouTube channel or educators in the field that's doing what we're doing. And so I truly appreciate your support and actually seeing the vision of what we're creating, and seeing the need that is there in the hydrogen industry and how we're trying to fulfill that need.
Yes, in our first event with the Hydrogen University that we had in Vegas not too long ago, I mean, that was a huge success too, and just getting people in a room to help educate, and all the, people seeing it online and what that created, that whole momentum, it's really great. We'll be doing annual meetings and probably 2 or 3 extra meetings every year too, as it grows around the world.
Yeah, I think it'd be really good. I think as collecting some of the leading educators in the field together at events that people can come to and actually learn about it. Like you said, it only creates momentum for hydrogen, but also creates momentum for you and your company and what you're doing, and how you're trying to do it right. So H2Minutes is so thankful that you're supporting us. And also we're very grateful that you're a company that actually cares to do it rightly. There have been many companies that have not. So thank you. And thank you so much for how you continue to push hydrogen forward. My last question for you is there any last thoughts or words that you would like to leave our H2Minutes viewers with?
Well, they're viewing this, so congratulations, you got to the very end. That means you're very serious about your health and about helping people and getting the awareness out of hydrogen. Help us, support Tywon in his videos. I support him because I want to see more of him. And he doesn't have products that he's pushing. He's got his videos, he's putting all of his time and energy, and his whole family, his wife, she's very involved in it. Like, yes. I see this and I'm like, we gotta help you grow, because it's helping everybody else grow to get the awareness out. So that's what I was saying. It's to the people who are watching this, do a favor to Tywon and everything he's done, and be a supporter of his organization here. Buy some products from me, and also support the whole industry of that realm as well, and take action. Tell other people about it so we can get the awareness out there, that we can really go out there and impact the world. Yes, absolutely. Exactly everything she said. Everyone, exactly everything she said. I've said it a lot of times in our videos. Please support us. We've actually done what we've done with minimal support, and we produce more than 100 hydrogen videos on the subject. And I think we're about to be crossing pretty close. I don't know, it could be really close to our 70th featured video, H2Minute video. So, and that's going to be on eyes and ears, and how hydrogen can benefit the eyes and ears. And so we have so many more topics to cover that I'm excited to do. But in order to do that, like you said, we need support. We need people that stand behind us and actually see the vision of not only H2Minutes, but just that they're just potential of hydrogen. So continue to look out for those videos. And thank you, Amanda, for your time. And thank you all for watching this interview. Thank you so much.